Welcome to the Copperas Cove ISD 2021 State of the District Partnership Awards. Today we recognize our partners across the community who have made education of our students and support of our staff possible. We are so grateful for their support, and today we present them with the Texas Association of School Boards Stand Up for Public Education Award. Let's welcome our first awardee. Please welcome to the stage the Copperas Cove Education Foundation, President Etta K. Kirkpatrick. The Education Foundation has contributed more than $300,000 to the Copperas Cove School District, funding innovative programs for our educators. Thank you, Copperas Cove Education Foundation. Our next partner to recognize is the Copperas Cove Walmart. Our partners at Walmart never say no. No matter what we ask for, they find a way to make it happen, and we are especially grateful for their support of our annual Stuff the Bus event, where we raise thousands upon thousands of dollars through our annual School Supply Drive campaign. Thank you to our friends at Copperas Cove Walmart. Next, we welcome the Copperas Cove Retired Teachers Association. The Retired Teachers Association is another group that always finds a way to support our students and staff. Whether giving books or providing scholarships to both students and teachers, they find a way to always say yes to make education happen. Thank you to the Copperas Cove Retired Teachers Association. Our next partner to recognize is Extraco Banks. Extraco Banks was the business that we piloted our Partners in Education program with. They are the partner to Crossroads High School. They also do a food drive for our students at Thanksgiving and provide Thanksgiving baskets, and the list is endless. We're so grateful to Extraco Banks. Thank you so much for all of your support. We welcome to the stage Star Group Veterans Helping Veterans. Being a military-connected community, our partnership could not be stronger with Star Group Veterans Helping Veterans. They were instrumental in helping us start the Stuff the Bus events now 7 years ago, literally raising thousands upon thousands of dollars of school supplies for our students. Thank you to Star Group Veterans Helping Veterans. We welcome to the stage the Mount Sinai Masonic Lodge. The Masonic Lodge contributes financially, as well as giving their time and executing programs within our schools. They provide the fabulous teeth program, school supplies, and more to our schools that are most economically challenged. Thank you so much to the Mount Sinai Masonic Lodge. We now recognize Synergy Cinemas. Kelly Stark and her team are instrumental in helping our students be at school every day and also make good grades by providing free movie tickets, popcorn, gaming cards, and everything for perfect attendance and making the honor roll. Synergy Cinemas is a huge partner to Copperas Cove ISD, and we certainly appreciate all of their support. HEB Plus is now coming to the stage, and boy, we can't say enough nice things about HEB. From their anti-bullying program to providing welcome gifts for our new teachers, HEB Plus is another organization that always finds a way to say yes. Thank you so much to HEB Plus for being our eternal partner and always saying yes. Our final partner to recognize today is the VFW Post 8577 and the VFW Ladies Auxiliary. The VFW Post conducts many programs within the school district, from Teacher of the Year, Patriots Pin, and Voice of Democracy, as well as an art contest. Thank you so much to the VFW Post 8577 for all of its support. This state level award is awarded only to those partners who are elite among the group and always give constantly whenever asked to the district, and we are so grateful for their support. Thank you to all of our partners in education.
Good morning. My name is Joe Burns, and I'm the Superintendent of Schools for the Copperas Cove Independent School District. I want to welcome you to the 2021 State of the District Address. The first thing I would like to do is recognize some folks who have been wonderful partners with us and who have been community advocates and who serve on our board and support us through city activities. Especially want to reach out and thank our friends from Fort Hood who participate in the Adopt a School unit. Also want to thank our mayor, the Honorable Brady Diaz, and our city manager, Mr. Ryan Haverlaw, the Copperas Cove City Council, the county judge, the Honorable Roger Miller. Also want to recognize our school board members. Mrs. Joan Manning is our board president. Mrs. Inez Faison is our board vice president. Dr. Karen Harrison is our board secretary. And then we have board members, Miss Ann Davis, Mr. John Gallen, Mr. Jeff Gorez, and Mr. Mike Wilburn. So today, we want to kick off and share some good news about the things that are taking place in Copperas Cove ISD. And we want to begin by talking about what our vision is for our students and for our staff. And our vision here in Copperas Cove is a foundation of excellence, a future of success. Our foundation of excellence has been built on the hard work and the backs of community members who serve as board members and those prior educators that come before us. We also want to share our mission, and the mission of Copperas Cove ISD is to provide exceptional opportunities for each student through exemplary instruction, which inspires academic success, personal excellence, and responsible citizenship. Proud to report that for the last 5 years, Copperas Cove ISD has been named one of the best public education institutions by the Killeen Daily Herald. Proverbs 29:18 tells us that where there's no vision, the people perish. Here a few years ago, the district undertook a long-range strategic planning process that involved more than 125 stakeholders and a multitude of meetings to come up with what we know as Vision 2021. Vision 2021 has 5 key themes, and they are teaching and learning, human resources, budget management, facilities, and community partnerships and communication. Under those 5 key themes, we have 10 plan owners who help provide responses and help move the process forward to improve the quality of life in Copperas Cove ISD. We're going to take each of these 5 themes today and address each and every one of them, share with you some of the things that are taking place, some of our hopes and aspirations, and then reflect on where we've been and some of the things that we've done. The first and the most important one of these themes is teaching and learning. This is the primary responsibility of the school district. It constitutes about 90% of our work, and it also constitutes about 90% of our budget. We put resources and staff into classrooms and in support of classrooms to make sure that our students have the best educational opportunity possible. CCISD teachers have provided more than 700,000 hours of instruction to students annually. And they've done that over this past year, both face-to-face and in at-home learning, something we call virtual learning. Also, our teaching staff and the support people who work with them have attended more than 1,000 professional development sessions in the summer and over the course of this last school year. CCISD serves a very diverse student population. You see the numbers on the screen, and that reflects a percentage of total number of total student population. We serve about 8,051 students, but we have a very diverse student population. One of the things that is very interesting about Copperas Cove is the number of languages spoken here by the students we serve. Students in Copperas Cove ISD speak more than 23 different languages. They speak everything in their home from Albanian Tosk to Urdu and everything in between. Those languages include Swahili, Korean, Italian, German, Yoruba, Guyanese, Akan, Arabic, Nepali, Mandarin, and Croatian, to just name a few. With that diverse student body, we are blessed with a plethora of very talented students. And so when we begin to look at our students and the work that they do, we want to share that our students in Copperas Cove ISD have an exceptional graduation rate. As a matter of fact, it's above the national federal graduation rate. It's above the Texas graduation rate. And also, our rate of students who drop out of school and don't complete a high school diploma is below the Texas average. We are above the Texas average in the number of graduates also who enlist in the U.S. Armed Services. We're very proud of that fact right there. We're also above the Texas population or the Texas average in the number of career and military-ready graduates. We're also above the Texas average in the number of graduates who fulfill the TSI English Language Arts requirement, above the Texas average in SAT results for math, and we're above the Texas average in SAT results for English Language Arts. Our college and career readiness pathways for students. This is a high school related issue that also dips down into junior high. There are 221 students enrolled in advanced placement courses. 688 students are enrolled in 99 different dual credit courses. And we have a whole plethora of opportunities thanks to our friends at UT who provide us with UT on-ramps courses and CTC, where the majority of our students receive their dual credit courses. CCISD students this year have earned more than 2,000 hours of college credit. And it reminds me of a quote by a dear friend of mine, Dr. Sally Downey. She's a retired superintendent from the state of Oklahoma who works now at a VOTEC school in Arizona near Phoenix. And she says two quotes. She shares two quotes, and I want to share one of them with you. And I don't care what our kids do and how our kids do it. One of the things we need to remember is what Dr. Sally Downey says, is that every passion needs a paycheck. You've heard life coaches say that every kid needs a career, then they need a hobby, and then they need friends. Well, I want you to know that career is important because you need a job. You need to be able to pay your bills, actively participate in society. Every passion, as Dr. Downey shares, needs a paycheck. Also, the other interesting thing that's happened to us in teaching and learning throughout all of this last year, as we were adjusting to the new normal, CCISD Instructional Services Department continued to move forward. They implemented, as a matter of fact, the Texas Reading Academies, training every teacher we have who teaches pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, and first grade, as well as the administrators and the instructional coaches in the science and in the teaching of reading. Many of you would say, well, why is that important? Teachers have teaching certificates. Wouldn't they already know that? I would share with you that more than half of all people entering the field of education now are entering that field under alternative certification requirements. And they may not have had that very sound instruction in teaching reading, even at the early elementary grade levels. So we're very excited about those reading academies and the work that's taking place. Next year, the coming year, we will look at second and third grade, plus retraining any new teachers that we get. CCISD was also awarded a grant for blended learning. That's very important because with COVID, we've had to move students to at-home learning, and we've had to teach our staff how to provide that kind of instruction in a meaningful way that still engages students. And then one of the very, very important things that took place over the last year was spearheaded by Ms. Rhonda Burnell, our Director of Behavioral Health Services. Rhonda came to us a year before last and was a tremendous hire for the district, has a wealth of experience and knowledge in mental health and behavioral health. And so she's been very, very helpful. And we partnered with the Dale Medical School, and we implemented the TCHAT program. The TCHAT program is the Texas Child Health Access through Telemedicine program, and this provides assistance to students who have either mental or behavioral health concerns. That program has blossomed, and parents are able to refer their child, counselors are able to refer a child, teachers are able to refer a child. And in light of all of the things that have taken place in our society over the last year, we have seen very good results from being able to provide students with telepsychology or psychiatry services. We're very, very thankful for the work that Rhonda Burnell does and the work that has been done through TCHAT for our students. Our staff are the front line for those requests and those referrals, and we're thankful for them as well. This year, we also added UT On-Ramps. UT On-Ramps is a dual enrollment program offered to high school students, and it is a way for a student to get accustomed to moving into college-level work. Let me tell you, one of the hardest challenges or one of the toughest challenges our students face, moving from the rigor of high school to the rigor of college without the safety net. At college, they appreciate you being there, but they're not going to take good care of you like we do in high school. So the child's transition or the student's transition to college-level work is critically important. UT On-Ramps partnered with us, and we're very glad about that. This gives a student the opportunity to earn dual credit or college credit while they're still in high school, plus high school credit. And if the student doesn't come out of the gate very strong, or if they struggle with the content and realize that's not their best subject, or they didn't put their best effort into it, the student and their family can choose to take that course just for high school credit or for high school and dual credit, and they don't have to make that decision until near the end of the semester. So they have an opportunity to see how well the student's performing before they make that decision. So we're excited about that. That is not in lieu of our partnership with Central Texas College, who is one of our great community partners. It is just in addition to and makes us much more complete in our ability to provide services. And a number of the courses through UT on-ramps are science and mathematics based. So we're glad to have that strength added. The other thing that we want to brag a little bit about this year on teaching and learning is even in the midst of the pandemic, where we have probably 20% of our student population at home receiving at-home instruction and virtual support, we still see our math and reading scores in line with our previous year's math and reading scores. That's critically important because TEA has done a study as a result of COVID, and they found that many students, as a result of COVID, have lost anywhere between 2.5 to 6 months of learning. So school districts having to play catch up with that, as well as make sure kids are getting adept at the things they're supposed to be learning this year. Again, remember, our work is focused on graduating students, making sure they understand and are capable when they graduate, because Dr. Downey says, remember, every passion needs a paycheck. The other thing that we're very proud of that we want to work on is some work that's taken place at Crossroads High School. Crossroads High School is our alternative high school. We have students who attend Crossroads High School who may not by any other means be able to earn a high school diploma because of factors that exist in their life. Some of them are the sole breadwinners for their homes, some of them are parents, and some of them are non-traditional students or older. And so one of the very, very promising things that we see in Coppers Cove ISD is the increase in the number of students graduating with a high school diploma from Crossroads. That's critically important because the U.S. Department of Education says that a high school diploma, not a GED, not something that you get from a homeschool paper mill someplace, not all homeschools are that way, but a homeschool or a public school-based school, you may earn a diploma, but that high school diploma, research from the U.S. Department of Education says, makes more than $1 million difference in your earning power in a lifetime. So we're very excited to see that number of students increase from Crossroads High School. Also, we want to applaud Crossroads High School for the work that they've done. This semester is the first time in the history of Crossroads High School that we have students who are there who are also attending courses at CTC for dual credit, both on the academic and the vocational side. So we are very, very, very excited about the work that's taking place with some of our most challenging to serve students at Crossroads High School. In addition, we want to share a little bit about our regular summer school. We have summer school every year for students who are not quite capable of earning the grades needed to promote to the next grade level. However, we felt like there were always some gaps. And so this year, our Instructional Services Department has put together a program where we not only offer traditional summer school, but we're also going to be offering some reading camps, some math camps, some STEM camps, some social and emotional enrichment groups, and some SAT boot camps. We're very excited about that offering, and we think it will fill in the gaps for students. The other area we're very proud of is the Career and Technology Education Program. Coppers Cove High School, some of those courses are offered at our junior highs now. But CCISD offers 5 endorsement areas and more than 30 programs of study. Those endorsement areas include arts and humanities, business and industry, multidisciplinary, public service, and STEM. I want to say that as a result of those activities, we have students who are leaving here pursuing very high-paying jobs, not with a bachelor's degree, but pursuing an associate's degree and entering the work world. One of the highest sought-after jobs right now is an ultrasound technician, and those jobs are the highest sought-after jobs in Central Texas and pay very, very well. Requires a 2-year degree. Not picking on people with a 4-year degree and not discouraging our students from pursuing a 4-year degree, but for students who may not be made for that 4-year degree path, or not right now, those students have the opportunity to earn well-paying jobs. Last year, our seniors graduated in 2020, having earned more than $1 million in scholarship funds. We have graduates from Coppers Cove High School and Crossroads High School who are filling leadership roles such as aerospace and chemical engineers. We have actors, sociologists, biologists, child psychologists, nurses, accountants, dentists, pharmacists, athletes, graphic designers, pilots, members of the military, and yes, we even have a few that are pursuing degrees in education. Graduates of the 2020 graduating class have committed to vocational schools, 2-year universities, and 4-year universities and colleges, or they've committed to military service. We have graduates who are attending colleges from South Alabama to Ball State to Mercy College and the University of Puerto Rico. You will find Coppers Cove High School graduates attending colleges from Massachusetts to New Mexico, California to New York, and you will find Bulldogs and Lady Dogs attending Central Texas College, Temple Junior College, Baylor, UMHB, Texas A&M Central Texas, Texas State Technical College, and Texas A&M in College Station and Commerce, the University of Texas in San Antonio, Austin, also the University of North Texas, Hardin-Simmons, Texas State, Angelo State, and Texas Women's University. We are extremely proud of the product we produce in Coppers Cove ISD and extremely proud of the students that we have the wonderful opportunity to serve. One of the next themes we want to talk about is human resources. How do you provide this very high quality education to students? Well, you do it with really good staff. Coppers Cove ISD is blessed with an exceptional staff who go above and beyond each and every day to make a positive difference in the life of young people. It is the former member of the U.S. House of Representatives, Solomon Ortiz, who says, "Education is the key to success in life, and teachers make a lasting impact in the lives of their students." We had 3 exceptional teachers who have been recognized this school year by the local VFW as being the best in the region. Candace Bowers from Martin Walker Elementary, Haley McFarland from Coppers Cove Junior High School, and Vanessa Wheat from Coppers Cove High School. We wish them the best at state and national competition. We're very proud of those exceptional educators. When we look at staffing under human resources, our human resources department works very diligently to provide us the best of the best. We have a total of 1,391 staff. About 663 of those staff members are certified professionals. We have some that are non-certified professionals. Those are folks like HR directors, budget managers, those folks. Then we have non-professional certified instructional staff. Those would be instructional support personnel. We have non-professional clerical. These are the folks that do the work of keeping all the records and making sure that students are properly accounted for and that we get messages to kids and we make sure that we get our PEIMS data correct. And then we have auxiliary staff. Auxiliary staff are those folks that work each and every day behind the scenes to make a difference for kids in a positive way by providing clean buildings, a warm meal, safe transportation, making sure that the buildings are well maintained. Those folks are crucial to our success. Out of the 1,391 staff, I want you to know I am very proud of each and every one of them. Just to give you a glimpse into our world about the kind of work that takes place and what it takes to make things happen other than teachers teaching in the classroom, we have our child nutrition department. Child nutrition has about 82 staff members, and they serve more than 6,000 meals a day. We have 11 campuses, and this year, because of COVID, the United States Department of Agriculture and the Texas Department of Agriculture allowed schools to provide meals, breakfast and lunch, at no charge to our student body. So every student could eat 2 meals a day at school and not owe a penny for that. So our child nutrition department stepped up. They serve about 2,550 breakfasts every day. They serve more than 3,400 lunches. We also still have students who are in virtual learning or at-home learning, and their parents will come and pick up meals. We have about 50 that do that. And I want to share with you at this time that next year, USDA has already told us that we will continue to serve breakfast and lunch free to every student. Maintenance, UC, they serve about or fulfill work orders about 5,000 on an annual basis. They have a 95% completion rate. Some things they just can't do. It's too involved, the project is too big, or it requires expertise beyond them. I will brag on them. They have almost a 70% completion rate in the first 3 days that a work order is entered. So we're very proud of that response time on them. I want to share a little bit about technology. Technology has about 7,200 work orders annually on average. And folks, a lot of that results from a short circuit between the keyboard and the seat. It's not really the device. It's either a power supply, it's someone that doesn't know to hit Control-Alt-Delete to reset everything, or it's someone who hasn't powered down their computer for a week and the computer needs to power down and power back up to reset and grab the latest updates. But our folks are out there doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and we're especially excited about this because last year, our district, our school board authorized us to purchase laptops for every teacher in the district. So if ever, because of COVID or anything else, we had to go to virtual learning, we could do that seamlessly. So that's 600 laptops that go to teachers right there. And then, as a result of funds coming to us through grants and through funds from the federal government, we're in a position where almost every kid, if we were to ever push that out, would have a computer in their hand, something. They would have a laptop, or a tablet, so we have the ability to go one-to-one if that is needed at any one time. We also maintain access points where people can wirelessly connect to our network. During the first days of COVID, we had people, we couldn't open the buildings, but we had people who were coming to our parking lot. They were downloading assignments. They were uploading assignments. They were coming to connect to Wi-Fi to communicate. So we're very appreciative of our technology department doing that. And then this year we rolled out hotspots. If we had families who were economically disadvantaged and struggling with connectivity because of where they lived and high-speed internet was not there, then we purchased and partnered with the state for a number of hotspots. We could assign those out to a student and the family could have internet access for the purpose of students doing their work. So we're very, very thankful for our skill team that we have in the technology department. The other department that I want to talk about that is not directly related to instruction but serves a crucial role is our transportation department. Our transportation department has about 93 personnel in that department. They have 91 buses and run more than 155 routes a day. Annually, they roll more than 450,000 miles with minimal disruption. It is the safest mode of transportation for your child to get to school. We're very thankful for the folks who operate those buses, who deliver those kids, and who are the first positive point of contact for CCISD when they see a kid in the morning. And the last word at the end of the day for many kids where they hear a positive comment telling them, "We believe in you, we'll be glad to see you tomorrow." So we're excited about the work that our staff does above and beyond teaching, but we're very excited about our entire staff. We want to brag a little bit because this is not possible in every district without really hard work in our HR department and with our hiring managers, campus principals, and department leads, and that is our staffing. We have 100% of our administrative staff that are fully certified. We don't have any outliers. We don't have anybody working on something. They are fully certified. Our teaching staff are either fully certified or permitted, so they meet all the criteria to be highly qualified staff. Our paraprofessional staff, 100% of them are highly qualified. And I want you to know there are a number of things we do for our staff. We have some graduate assistance programs where if we have teachers pursuing a graduate degree in their field, we help them with tuition. They just have to work for us for a number of semesters to have that debt forgiven. We have paraprofessionals who are working in our Grow Your Own program to become teachers, and we do the same thing for them. We also provide assistance to other folks in our auxiliary transportation, maintenance, food service departments who are seeking certification to enhance their skill set. We pay for that, and those folks just have an obligation of continued service with the school district. We're very excited about that. We have a health and wellness program for our employees. We also, as a result of COVID, find that there are times whenever some of our staff members are facing circumstances that is beyond their ability to control, and they end up having significant challenges as a result of that. And so we have an employee assistance program for all of our staff, regardless of what you do in this district. If you need someone to talk to, if you need some advice, if you need to receive some support of some kind, we have an employee assistance program that is absolutely anonymous, that our employees can reach out to. And if they need counseling services or something beyond just talking, then those employees are eligible for up to 8 of those appointments. And we're very, very appreciative of that service, and our staff has been utilizing that. And then we have, as we say, our Grow Your Own program, and we're working on some programs for our students who may be interested in becoming teachers in the future. One of the big things that I want to share with you is budget management. This is our financial side of the house. I want you to know that since 2003, Texas has had the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. That scores districts based upon their ability to manage state and federal and local funds. So since 2003, Copperas Cove ISD has earned the highest possible financial accountability rating in the state of Texas. We are very, very excited about that. That's something that we hang our hat on and something that we celebrate, because there are many places and many people out there who would look at institutions like public schools and say we're not managing money very well. Well, we've never received an audit that had findings in it. We're very appreciative of that. We're also very appreciative that the state recognizes our financial work. We also are seeking always alternative funding sources for what we do. This year, as a result of the efforts of staff, we have 3 DOD grants. I want you to know we were called out at a national conference because we're the only district, at one time we had 4, only district in the nation that qualified for 4 grants and had earned 4 grants. We're very proud of our folks. That totals about $3 million over the course of 5 years. What you see on the slide is just the annual, the totals, but that's spread over 5 years. And then we received CARES Act funding for about $1.8 million. And then there's additional funding that'll be coming as a result of new federal spending. And that money is supposed to be coming to us. We don't know when. Legislature's working on that, but we're very appreciative of those dollars to help continue to educate our students. The area that we see most often and that we're working on always is facilities. In Copperas Cove, we have 11 campuses. We have 3 support facilities, and we have a facility, Crossroads High School, the main building, that's more than 120 years old. And then we have our transportation facility that's 3 years old, relatively new building. Across the district, we have about 1.6 million square feet of space that has to be cleaned, maintained, and provided to provide a great place for kids to learn. Our custodians, each and every day, every one of them individually, are responsible for 21,000 square feet of space to make ready for kids and staff the next day. The average home is about 2,200 square feet, so figure out that it takes about 10 average homes to do that. Our folks work really hard. We're tremendously indebted to them and very thankful for the work that they do. We have some projects that I want to share with you that are facility upgrades and improvements that are taking place across the district. These projects, I won't go over each and every one of them, but I want to share some additional ones that are taking place. We have a new gym floor at House Creek Elementary. We widened the main hallway at Copperas Cove High School. There was a choke point down past the library. We widened that and painted in that back hall. The old carpentry shop that was located on the Copperas Cove Junior High School campus has been fully renovated, and that's our new district training facility. Our tennis courts have been refurbished. We've installed some emergency generators at our warehouse where our food service department or child nutrition department has big freezers. We've also installed a backup generator on our technology department because we have voice over IP telephones and network and internet. We want to make sure that that's always fully functional. We also are working right now to abate some asbestos on some of the older campuses because those campuses are in line for additions. And we're going to be making additions over the course of this year at May Stevens Early Learning Academy, Hetty Halstead Elementary, Martin Walker Elementary, and Williams Ledger Elementary. Lots and lots of work taking place. I want you to know the district and the board has been very diligent about preserving as much of their resources as possible. And as a result, we're able to do those without asking our taxpayers to reach into their pocket to pay for those. But those are much needed renovations in addition to the ones that you see on the slide. If you haven't been to Crossroads High School in a while, go. The old auditorium's been renovated and made into classroom space. We added bathrooms to that facility, bathrooms to our DAEP wing, and renovated some restrooms in our old DTF library there to make sure that that's a classroom wing and working very well. So we've been through teaching and learning, human resources, budget management, facilities. Our fifth theme is community partnerships and communications. I want to say this about Coppers Cove. Coppers Cove may not be the best city to live in. It may not have the greatest leadership. This district may not have the greatest leadership, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. My family and I love Coppers Cove. Coppers Cove has been a great place to raise kids. It's been a great place to get an education for our children. And some of the best people I've ever met in my life live right here in Coppers Cove. Coppers Cove is a tremendous community. They have great partnerships that exist. We're going to share some of those with you and some of the work that takes place. I want to start just by sharing, though, that the volunteers in the Fort Hood Adopt-a School units have contributed more than 100,000 hours to campuses and programs over the past year, even whenever we didn't have the ability to have everyone on campus. They still persisted. They worked from home. We had people that would come pick up lamination. They would take it home, cut it out, and bring it back. We had people that would make flashcards for kids. We had people that did virtual read-alouds. We had people that did face-to-face FaceTime meetings with kids or Zoom meetings to be able to share experiences and talk about what the world was doing. We found a way to keep our community involved. Some of our most important community partners are our parents and guardians. They provide us with more than 8,000 students every year, and they send us their best and their brightest, and we're very thankful. We also want to thank our local property owners. Many of our property owners no longer have children that are school age, but they are tremendously supportive and encouraging about public education in Coppers Cove. They appreciate the work that was done for their kids, and they're returning that favor for kids today. I also want to thank our property owners for contributing annually a little over $15 million to the school district budget. Now, that's about 20% of what we do. The rest is made up by federal and state funds, but that $15 million is critically important for success of our students. That provides teachers, teacher salaries, facilities, materials, utilities, does all those things. We also want to thank our great friends at Coppers Cove Education Foundation. They do things like the New Teacher Breakfast, the Innovative Teaching Grants, which by now they have provided more than $300,000 to teachers for innovative teaching activities. That's a huge chunk of money, and it's made a huge difference for our kids. I do want to say that as a result of COVID, they've had to cancel their annual fundraising gala. This is the second year for that. Also, their Senior Walk of Fame banquet. Still being discussed, still being worked on. We're ready whenever the time is right to put those things back in place, but those are challenges for the Education Foundation. Also want to recognize that we have 8 of our campuses that were recognized as Purple Star campuses this year because they are military-friendly campuses. We're very, very, very appreciative of them. When we talk about community partners and communication, we have a Wordle up here. I learned that word recently, Wordle. And this is not all-encompassing, but it includes a number of our friends. We have partnerships with the City of Coppers Cove for shared facilities, where they use our facilities, we use some of theirs. We use them for events. They use our fields for Little League Baseball, and they use it for practices, and they use our gyms and other things, and we're very, very appreciative of that. We also partnered with the city in the past on safe routes to school, wayfinding signage for campuses, and single-stream recycling. The other thing that we have partnered with the city on was something that happened very early on in this pandemic, and that was the Cove Cares program, where meals were provided to shut-ins and elderly who were not able to get out and secure the resources needed to continue to feed them. We also made contact with folks whenever medical supplies were needed or whenever there were medical emergencies. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Also want to talk about our civic clubs who provide scholarships for full-time students and dual credit kids. Those folks like the Morning and Noon Exchange, and they do the Ace of the Quarter, the Excel Club, and educator recognition. Altrusa provides monetary donations for books for kids. The Rotary Club provides dictionaries and bicycles for perfect attendance. The Optimist Club provides shoes and clothing for children in need. The Lions Club provides Leo Club and scholarships. Mount Hiram Masonic Lodge, number 595, provides scholarship and teacher-student recognition. Coppers Cove Retired Teachers Association provides books and scholarships for our paraprofessional staff. And the list goes on and on and on of folks who work diligently to make a difference for our kids and for our staff. And so we're very, very thankful. Our friends at Walmart host the Stuff the Bus event every year. HEB helps with the Food for Families food drive. Raising Cane's, Bush's Chicken. I'm telling you, there's not an entity in Coppers Cove that doesn't want to make sure our kids succeed and help in any way they possibly can. The other thing I want to share with you is just a thanks. Just a big thanks. Thanks for helping us be the best. I want to share with you something that's near and dear to me. Many of you know that I grew up in a home that struggled financially and didn't have a dad present. And so when I see people in need, I always want to try to help. On about March 15th of last year, 2020, we got notification that schools were closed and kids couldn't come back. One of our greatest fears was what happens to the kids. What about those kids that need a meal? What about those kids who are struggling with learning, even in the face-to-face setting? What about our neighbors who are elderly and can't get out, or they're so paralyzed with fear they're afraid to go anywhere because they don't want this deadly disease that everybody's talking about? As a result of that, we began to meet with our team, and crucial members of our team stepped up in mighty ways and did miraculous things for each other, for the kids we serve, and for our community. Amanda Crawley and her team in the Instructional Services Department, on a dime, flipped face-to-face instruction to virtual instruction, created packets for kids and ways for parents to pick them up, and never blinked an eye. Earl Parcell, the Director of Technology and the principal at Martin Walker Elementary, said, "Dr. Burns, we got to provide technology. Some of these kids don't have it. They need it. We need to be able to get to them." And so they started issuing laptops and devices to kids. Child Nutrition Director Melissa Bryan said, "Dr. Burns, just tell us what we need to do, or let us help you do this." And within a day or two, they had meals being provided to kids for pickup by parents that not only included breakfast and lunch every day, but also on Fridays they could pick up meals for the weekend to get them through until they could come back on Monday. So our Instructional Services Department, food service, child nutrition staff, technology department were phenomenal. And I want to celebrate each and every one of them for the work that they did. Our teachers have been phenomenal and have done yeoman's work and deserve recognition for that. The other thing of which I'm very proud is a partnership we entered into with a number of entities, primarily the City of Coppers Cove, Atmos Energy, Chamber of Commerce here in Coppers Cove, our EDC, our Ministerial Alliance, folks from Cove House, Hill Country Action Association, and Jonas and Leslie Titus. Whenever we knew that there were elderly and shut-ins who needed fed and food, they came together. CCISD provided the place to cook it and prepare it. The other entities provided the resources to buy the food products needed. And then our transportation staff, under the leadership of Gary Elliott, put together a caravan of buses, contacted people under the leadership of Rick Kirkpatrick, our Deputy Superintendent for Operations and Support, reached out to people, found out where they lived, and for about a month, they carried meals every day to more than 400 people across our community who otherwise would not have been fed, who may not have been cared for, or may not have been checked on. Not only did they feed them, but they also visited with them about medical needs and challenges they were having, from things like low oxygen in the bottle they had at home to making sure their prescriptions were refilled. We had entities that reached out and churches that reached out, and we would provide them that information, and they would take off and go pick up prescriptions for people and deliver other things. And so I want you to know Copperas Cove's a great place to live. When tough times happen, you find out who really cares about you. And so I want to say to our community partners how proud I am of the work that they've done and the results that were achieved. One of those key groups in helping us also is Star Group Veterans Helping Veterans. Man, they just take care of folks all the time. And never, never, never did they falter, waver, or fail in that. Today we've talked a whole lot about things taking place in CCISD, but I want to share with you some highlights from our campuses, and then I'll close. Last year we had a graduate that was a National Merit Scholar, our valedictorian, Miss Isabella Childers. We're extremely proud of Isabella, the work that she did, and the future that she has. Copperas Cove High School has seen unparalleled success through our Texas Association of Future Educators, or TAFE program, our HOSA program, Health Occupations program, and our DECA program, our Distributive Education program, where kids have the opportunity to go and learn to be leaders before they ever leave high school. We've also had great success in athletics. We had volleyball make the playoffs. The girls' softball is going to make playoffs. We had a student who set the powerlifting record for the 114-pound weight class at region and then won state. We have kids today, just this morning before this event, I attended an event where we have 5 students, a basketball player, a tennis player, and 3 football players signing scholarships to go on and further their education and continue to do the things that they love to do. Our Copperas Cove High School placed second in academic UIL and continues to be a reckoning force in a district where we're the smallest high school in the area. We're very proud of the work done at Copperas Cove High School and the effort that's put forth by that team. Crossroads High School has a program where Michael Ville started this called the Reset Initiative, named after the Autumn Murphy Reset Initiative that was started in 1949, where Bad Boys, the film Bad Boys, was filmed, and many of you may not know it was on location in Copperas Cove in the second story of the old original Copperas Cove or Crossroads High School building. Reset is designed to reflect the JRTC program for students at Crossroads High School and expose them to character development, critical thinking, leadership, communication, and physical conditioning. Crossroads High School, who used to muddle along with about 40 kids in enrollment, now has more than 150 kids and the highest number of kids graduating at each graduation that we've ever had. We're getting ready to have to move to 3 graduation ceremonies a year to handle that. Fairview Jewell Elementary, they have implemented restorative discipline practices that has reduced student discipline referrals by 60%. And they are proud of their 3rd grade students who moved from 4th in the district in reading at the beginning of the year to 1st in the district in reading and 2nd in the district in math in December. We have the Behavioral Support Services program I talked about called T-Chat. We're excited about that. S.C. Lee Junior High School received the award for the most food collected by a secondary school for Food for Families food drive. S.C. Lee was also awarded an Educational Foundation grant for a hydroponic system. They have a farm-to-table class where kids learn to grow plants. Yes, something does come from a seed, so kids are learning the source of their food. Their dance and cheer team won 7 awards for Ultimate Sideline Sweetheart National Champion, 1st place for band dance, 1st winner for the fight song, 2nd place for defense cheer, 2nd place for spirit cheer, and they were a Division I winner with the POM routine, and they also received judges' awards. Clements Parsons Elementary is outperforming in every area based on where they were pre-pandemic. Their third grade star release scores increased by 20 points, and their scores in math and reading did as well. Their fourth grade team is leading the district in reading, writing, and math, and their fourth grade star scores were released and increased by almost 30 percentage points from December of 2020 to March of 2021. And they lead the district in first place for fourth grade all across the district. They're a Purple Ribbon school. They also had Student to Student, which is an MSEC program we have in the district. Our band program, many of you are exceptionally proud of the Pride of Cove, as are we. Pride of Cove and Color Guard earned straight ones from all the judges' UIL marching evaluation. The band got to advance to area contest, and they had more than 165 students participate. Later, for the region band, they had 36 students audition. 21 earned a spot on that band. 5 students earned first chair, and that included piccolo, the flute, bass clarinet, bass trombone, and tuba. And then we had 17 students qualify for area and recorded their auditions for the TMA 6A All-State Band. And they also had Winter Guard and ensemble performances for the Texas Color Guard Circuit Virtual Competition entered. I never heard of a virtual competition, but I will tell you there are clubs across this city that are holding virtual marathons. I think I could win one of those. They also have students who participate in the World Guard International virtual competition, and 6 of those performances advanced as a result of our students' efforts. There are 15 students who received First Division medals at UIL Solo and Ensemble. 33 students received First Division medals at UIL Ensemble Contest, and there are 11 performing groups that have qualified to enter recordings for the UIL State Solo and Ensemble Competition. Both junior highs had exceptional band programs. Coppers Cove Junior High School had 38 students audition for the region band. All 38 of them made the band. They also earned 6 first chair positions. S.C. Lee had 19 students audition. 19, all of them, earned a spot in the region band, and 4 of them earned first chair positions. So we're very, very, very proud of them. This year, our food service department, I told you, had an exceptional year, did a great job. They also got to participate in the National School Lunch Week, where they partnered with the U.S. Space Force. They actually got to connect with an astronaut in space for a 30-minute Zoom, and kids got to talk to the astronaut about what it was like to live, work, and sleep in space. They also made rounds on campuses with Borden's Elsie the Cow. Highlight of the day because they found out that Elsie can give chocolate milk. And then I also want you to know that our food service program is exceptional. Not only do they do a great job, but they have received hundreds across the board in 10 school cafeterias, and only one cafeteria did not receive 100. It earned a 97. So very, very good stuff. May Stevens Early Learning Academy was voted the best school in the Tri-County area and awarded this honor by the Coppers Cove Leader Press. They have a teacher, Mandy Hunt, who was awarded the Educator of the Quarter for Coppers Cove School District by the Exchange Club. And May Stevens, this year, for the first year, transitioned to a full-day pre-kindergarten program for only 4-year-olds. Teachers are loving it. Kids are loving it. It gives them a full day to meet all of the criteria outlined by the state, and they're very excited about that. House Creek Elementary, Mr. Todd Williams, as principal, has done a great job. They have a kids marathon running club. They tell kids, hey, you can go outside and run, and they do it. They love it. The kids do an exceptional job. They were first place in the Food for Families food drive for elementary schools. They are a student-to-student campus for MSEC. They have a neat program that takes place every morning where they do yoga with kids in the gym, and they cannot get enough space. The kids love it. They also participated this year in a winter holiday card and gifts for residents of Coppers Cove Nursing and Rehab. They've done things like PTA family movie night drive-through and birthday drive-through parties. On Veterans Day, they sent cards to an adopted unit that's deployed in Poland. They participated in virtual Tell Me a Story and Black History Month. Our transportation department this year has been very challenging across this district, trying to find substitutes. So everybody at that transportation department has had to drive a bus, including mechanics, the director, and his secretary. Those folks have driven on average of 25 routes a day, depending on how many staff they have, and they continue to do that without complaint because they know that that's important for our kids. We're very, very thankful for our transportation department employees. Martin Walker Elementary has an adoptee school unit. They're the 91st Engineers that have been a great partner. They've supported 11 students on the Angel Tree for that campus. They provided virtual read alouds for their students. They donated food for the Weekend Back program. And the students came and helped their adoptee unit came and helped their students collect almost 100 pounds of trash from around the campus and the neighborhood streets for the Texas Trash Off Initiative. Martin Walker Elementary is named the Recycle Bowl Champions for the Fort Hood Youth Ambassador Program. They are a student-to-student campus. They also raised, in spite of COVID, more than $6,000 for Jump Rope for Heart. We go back to this COVID thing. I want to share with you what a wonderful job. This year we have a Director of Health Services for the district, Ms. Amy Hudson. Ms. Hudson and her staff have been exceptional in making sure that we were doing everything possible to keep COVID out of the schools. Ms. Hudson is our contact tracer person who makes sure that we identify people who have been in contact with or exposed to an infected person and who verifies that it's actually COVID that they're infected with. They also participated now in our staff through the health services have participated in 5 COVID clinics and have more on the horizon. Some of these nurses have been volunteering their time at those clinics, and they have not given a shot in years, yet they stepped up to the plate and said, hey, I'll be glad to help because it makes a difference in our community. So I want to recognize Amy Hudson, Bettina Cash, Deborah Cranfield, Kristen Cortez, Maricela Marino, Michaela Ingram, Denise Ingram, and Ella Doubleday. The other thing that's heartwarming for me is when we have these vaccination clinics, we see some of our ex-students. Alex Wilson, our chief of police's daughter, came back and participated, volunteered her time. Dr. Jimmy Shuck's daughter came and volunteered her time. Both of them are nurses, work in the Austin area, but they came back and they wanted to participate and make a difference for Coppers Cove. You didn't hear me mention anything about Halstead Elementary or Coppers Cove High School. I mentioned them earlier. I will tell you, Hitty Halstead Elementary is working diligently to make a difference for kids each and every day. Their scores have improved from the beginning of the year to midterm and continue to improve on math and reading. They are breaking the trend for a high poverty campus, and they're making a difference for those kids each and every day. Our students over there are learning to read through virtual learning programs. They're actively involved in Tell Me a Story. They're actively involved in the Ranger Reading Camp. And so that campus is doing exceptional things as well. I mentioned the high school, and so I want to say this, that I'm extremely proud of the work that we do in Coppers Cove ISD. I'm most proud of the support we enjoy from our community. I'm very proud of the partnerships we have with CTC, Texas A&M, Temple College, all the institutions of higher ed. I want you to know that great things are coming for us. COVID has knocked us down, but not out. And success is not measured by when you get knocked down, but how you get up. And I want you to know that we are rising from this pandemic, and we're going to be better in the future. I want to share with parents that in 21-22, in August, if we continue on the trajectory that we're on right now, that there will be no virtual learning offered to students. That is one of the most challenging things we do. It's also one of the most ineffective things we do because many kids are not able to help police themselves or they're not disciplined enough to manage that at home. Young children, sometimes as young as 7 or 8 years old, are in instances where a parent's not able to be there with them, and they're trying to connect, get on Zoom, do all those things, and it is a challenge. We have a lot of folks that have done it very successfully, but we have a lot of our kids who struggle that are in virtual learning. And so virtual learning will not be an option for us coming into the 21-22 school year. The other thing that I want to share with you is if we continue on this trajectory of numbers being lowered, more vaccinations, and those things, it is our hope, desire, and prayer that we begin the 21-22 school year with facial coverings being an option, an individual option, not a requirement for staff or for students. So we want to encourage, if that changes your mind about school, maybe you need to think about whether your family needs vaccinated, or maybe you need to think about the best option that's out there. We want every one of our kids to be highly successful. This year has been an absolute challenge. It has tested our mettle, but it's made us better and not bitter. And we want to move forward in a positive way. And we want our students to enjoy a full school year with all the benefits, all the awards, all the accolades, and all the opportunities that can be afforded to them. So next year, 21-22, will start in August, and it's our hope and our intent that we will not offer virtual learning and that facial coverings will be an option for families and students and staff. It will not be a requirement. I also want to share this as we go. We've seen restrictions lifted and capacities increased. I want you to know that we're in the process of scheduling banquets for our athletics programs. We're in process of scheduling banquets for our vocational and other academic programs. We will have a baccalaureate service in Lee Ledger Auditorium that will be open to everyone. And we will have graduation for Copperas Cove High School at Bell County Expo Center, and families will be invited. We want to celebrate this class that has endured and gone through so much, and yet continued to be resilient, continued to be positive, and continued to work hard to earn that diploma that they so rightly deserve. I want to thank you again for being with me today. Wish you the very best, and if we can be of a help to you in any way, please reach out. Thank you, and God bless.